Welcome, guys, back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to her story.
I was eating goldfish on the bleachers when two fourth graders asked my teacher if they could play
Where's
kickball,
Ruth
and she stepped
doing?
back and threw her hand.
Okay, they're asking to play kickball. That's why is she putting her hand up like that?
Hands up. Don't ask me, ask the king. They both turned around
What? They just said king? Nah. Let me subscribe. Make this to my people.
and walked toward me shaking. They were 2 grades older than me and a foot taller. They stopped
What?
at the bottom of the bleachers with their eyes glued to their shoes. Can we please play kickball at recess? I took my time finishing the goldfish in my mouth. I wiped the orange dust off my fingers onto my jeans.
That's disgusting, bro. Okay, let's
Tell me why. They both forced their eyes up to meet mine. The shorter one mumbled it was his birthday. I flicked my fingers like I was swatting flies. Have fun. They thanked me
What do you mean spotting flies?
4 times each before sprinting off. I reached into my bag for another handful of
Okay, they thanked her like Japanese people.
goldfish. A minute later, Mrs. Givens walked over with her hands clasped together. Sorry to bother you, sweetie king. There's a
What? I think her parents is rich, owning some.
third grader telling kids they can't use the swings today. I told her to bring him to me. She nodded and walked off to find him. That's when a teacher I'd never seen before stormed across
Yeah, look at this. Look, she's mad.
the yard, pointing straight at me. What in the world is going on here? Why are these children
That's
acting like
wrong.
you're in charge? Mrs. Givens sprinted back over and grabbed his elbow. Stop talking right now. The new teacher yanked his arm away and turned back to me. I am not letting a second
Look at his mouse. Nah, look at him. Ew, his teeth probably broke.
grader run this playground. He marched up the bleachers and grabbed my wrist. You're coming with me to the principal's office right now. Before he could pull me down, 2 men in black suits came running across the yard. They slammed him into the grass and pinned his hands behind his back without saying a word.
Wait. But this so how they run? Go back.
During my daughter,
Oops.
I was eating goldfish on the bleachers running across the yard.
Look how they
During my
run.
daughter's I was eating goldfish on the bleachers when two fourth graders asked my behind his back without saying a word. I climbed down from the bleachers and crouched next to it. During my daughter I was eating goldfish on the bleachers when
Wow,
two
what's
fourth
happening?
graders asked my teacher if they could play kickball, and she stepped back and threw 2 men in.
What's
During
up?
my daughter I was eating goldfish on the bleachers when two fourth graders
Wow.
asked my teacher if they could play. I climbed down from the bleachers and crouched next to his ear. Don't you ever disrespect me again. I dropped a goldfish into his mouth, stood up, and walked off. That's when the principal came running out of the building. He took one look
Look at him how he's walking. Like,
and dropped to his knees. Please forgive us, Miss Sweetie King. Mr. Dealwood will be fired by the end of the day. I kept walking past him without a word, munching on goldfish. The principal slapped Mr. Dealwood in the back of the head. You idiot! Her family runs the entire underground crime scene.
oh, she owns the whole underground crime scene.
I was eating goldfish on the bleach. During my daughter's birthday party, I saw a woman named Janet pick up one of my daughter's wrapped gifts from the present table. She looked around to see if nobody was watching and put the bracelet-shaped present in her purse. I realized she was stealing my daughter's
She's stealing a gift?
birthday
Yeah.
presents and ran over and told her to immediately put that back. Her face went red and she said, "But my daughter wants a bracelet." I pointed at the bracelet on her wrist and told her to give her daughter that one. But Janet scoffed and replied, "This bracelet was too expensive. Kids don't deserve nice things." She walked away with the present still in her purse and I ran after her. I said she can either put the gift back where she got it or she gives me her own bracelet instead, or else I'm telling everyone here she's stealing an 8-year-old's birthday presents. Janet's jaw clenched and she pulled out $20 from her purse, trying to bargain with me. I told her no, the present or the bracelet. She rolled her eyes and turned around, then quickly grabbed her daughter and went to leave.
So she not give the bracelet? That's
I knew I had to act before she got away with stealing the present, so I grabbed the nearby microphone and immediately announced, "Janet stole one of my daughter's gifts. Open your purse, Janet." She was almost at the front door, but suddenly stopped. Everybody turned to stare at her, and her daughter asked, "Mommy, is that true?" Janet's hands shook as she opened her purse,
Ugh. She's like struggling.
and everyone saw the bracelet-shaped wrapping. Janet was red with embarrassment and told her daughter,
Nah, how did she get red like that? That's crazy.
"I was only taking it for you." But her daughter reached her hand out and yanked Janet's expensive bracelet off Janet's wrist. She walked over to my daughter and said, "My mom tried to steal your bracelet, so you get to have hers. That's fair." I looked back and saw Janet start crying because she'd just lost her precious bracelet to the girl she was trying to steal from. During my daughter
No, bruh. What? She could have just Give her back the present.
I was
Look what
pushing my
you
baby
do.
on the swings when an old woman walked up to us and said, "Such a beautiful baby. May I see his shoulder?" I immediately pulled my son off the
Whoa,
swing and
whoa,
backed away.
whoa, whoa. You want to see his shoulder?
As we left, I heard her whisper, "The birthmark. I need to see if he has the birthmark." 2 weeks later, she was parked in front of our
Oh, I
building,
think
hunched over her steering wheel crying.
since your
When she
baby's
saw me
missing,
notice her, she drove
that's why.
away quickly. I held my baby extra tight that night and decided to take him to a smaller park 6 blocks away, just to be safe. But she showed up there too, this time with a teddy bear. The tag was still on it, but it looked old, like it had been saved for decades. I grabbed my son out of the swing and yelled, "Leave us alone!" But she latched onto my shoulder and said, "Please, I just need to know about the birthmark. Does he have a star-shaped mark on his
Okay, she just like, oh, like a ghost. That's crazy. Yeah,
left shoulder?" I
what's
yanked
so
her hand
weird?
off and threatened to call the police. She backed off but followed us home at a distance, repeating, "My son had the same mark. Please just tell me." The next time she was at the park, a woman was with her saying, "Mom, you have to stop this. It's been 40 years. James
What? 40 years it's time to do this? Nah, that's crazy, man. That's
is gone." The older woman broke down completely. "He's not gone. If I could just see the birthmark, I'd know. That's when I'd had enough."
Let's check the comments. Justin, I never really thought James is still a baby from first news. Oh, whatever.
Marched over with my baby in my arms but froze when I saw her holding an old picture of a baby that somehow looked exactly like mine. "What's going on? Who is that?" I freaked out. The old woman said, "This is my son James. My ex-husband kidnapped him when he was a baby." Then she pointed at my son's shoulder. James had a perfect star right there. "Tell me, does your son have it too?" She looked so desperate and broken that I finally answered her. I pulled my son's sleeve back to show her the star-shaped
Well, he does has it. I'm not gonna lie, it does not look like so. Something like messed up. It kind of looks like starts from the right side.
birthmark on his left shoulder. The old woman's legs gave out. Her daughter caught her as she sobbed uncontrollably. "My husband has the same birthmark," I said, "and he's adopted." The old woman looked at me and whispered, "What's your husband's name?" "James." I was
Oh, her husband kidnapped the baby from her. Oh, let's move into the next video.
My daughter asked me, "Mom, can I dye my hair blonde?" I knocked my chair back so hard it hit the wall. "What did you
What? We need to replay that. Wait, go back.
What did you just say to me?" Juliet flinched. "I'd me. Mom, can I dye my hair blonde?" I knocked my chair back so hard it hit the
Oh, wow.
wall. "What did you just say to me?" Juliet flinched. "I just asked if I could dye my— No, stop. Something is wrong with you. You told your aunt she looked like a burnt corn husk for going blonde. You told a girl her hair looked like it was dipped in piss. And now you want to be blonde?" She started crying. "Why are you screaming at me? It's literally just a color." I should have felt guilty, but I knew something was seriously wrong with my daughter. The next morning, Juliet walked into the kitchen asking me to make her scrambled eggs. I spat out my water because Juliet has gagged at eggs her entire life. I made them anyway because I needed to watch her eat them. She ate every single bite. "Thanks, Mom. These were really good." I called my best friend for help. She said I was spiraling. My mom told me to stop smothering Juliet. Her father just said, "Relax." Nobody was listening to me, but I wasn't wrong. Because before she went to bed, she said, "Good night, Petra." She saw my horrified face
Petra?
and bonked her head. "Sorry, Mom. I meant Mom." Juliet had never called me Mom before. That weekend, we went to the mall because I needed to do something normal with her. But then she stopped in front of a mirror and said, "I really think I'd look good blonde." I grabbed her by the shoulders and turned her around to face me. "Why do you keep saying that? You have hated blonde hair your entire life. What is happening to you?" Juliet shoved me off. "Why can't I just want something different without you completely losing it?" "Because you're not my daughter. Why won't anybody believe me?" I was crying now. Juliet was backing away from me. Then a man walked over and said he was a psychiatrist and could help. The psychiatrist asked, "Juliet, do you have gaps in your memory?" She looked scared. "Sometimes I'm at
Oh, she had gaps. Something, baby.
school and then I'm home and I don't remember the drive." He recorded the session and then played parts of it back for her. She watched in horror. "That's not me. I didn't say that. That was 11 minutes ago, Juliet." He sat back in his chair. "Juliet, what I'm about to tell you is going to be hard to hear, but I need you to listen." She was shaking. "You have something called dissociative identity disorder. The blonde hair, the eggs, calling your mother Petra. That wasn't you, Juliet. There is someone else in your mind, and when she comes
Oh, there's someone else in her mind.
forward, you don't remember
Hopefully this is not real. That'd be terrible if someone's mind
any of it.
trying to say stuff you don't like. Like, I don't like eggs. Example, like I don't like eggs. I'm making me eggs. I'm allergic to nuts and I love nuts.
Juliet looked terrified. Juliet started treatment that same month. The alter's name is Eloise. She likes scrambled eggs and calls me Petra. Juliet still hates blonde hair. Eloise still asks to diet. Some mornings I can tell who I'm talking to before she even opens her mouth. My daughter asked me, "Mom, keep smiling or you're sleeping outside tonight," my mom said while someone from Child Protective Services knocked on our front door. We'd been filming our morning routine for the 13th time because I kept blinking wrong. My face ached from holding the same smile since 6 a.m., and the ring lights had burned fresh marks up both my arms. My mom yanked my sleeves down over the burns before she opened the door. My dad grabbed my school workbook off the counter and shoved it under the couch. The woman at the door held up a badge and introduced herself as Melinda. "A viewer sent us screenshots of bruises and burns on your daughter from your recent videos." My mom walked around behind Melinda where only I could see her face twist into a silent threat. I smiled with all my teeth showing. "Everything is amazing here. I love making videos with my parents every single day." Melinda swiped to a photo on her tablet.
Okay, the girl with the mom looks strict. Look at her face. That's a difficult face.
And held it up. "Then why do you have a black eye covered with makeup in this video from last week?" I hit a doorknob because I'm clumsy and my mom helped me cover it so viewers wouldn't worry. Melinda looked at me and back at my parents. "She's 10. Why isn't she in school right now?" My mom cut in fast. "She doesn't need school. She makes more money than most adults. Show me her schoolwork." My mom just stared at her. "We don't waste time on books when she could be filming." Melinda stood up straighter. "I need to speak with your daughter alone." My dad stepped forward, but Melinda held up her badge.
They seem a strict family. They might get arrested because they seem
"Use
strict.
and I call the police. Your choice." They went into the kitchen but left the door cracked open. Melinda put a piece of paper in my hands. "Read this out loud for me." I stared at the page for a long time and just held it up and smiled. "I love reading." She put a pen in my hand. "Write your name for me." My hand hovered over the paper but I couldn't remember how to spell it. "Everything is perfect," I whispered, and my eyes went to the cracked door. Melinda leaned in close enough that only I could hear. "I'm getting them out of this room." She stood up and opened the kitchen door. "Leave this house completely or I call for backup right now." My dad slammed the front door on his way out. She sat back down and looked at me. "Where do you sleep?" My jaw ached from smiling all day, and my eyes burned. "In the basement." I walked her downstairs to a concrete floor with 2 thin blankets and no pillow.
Oh, this way she sleeps now. Our parents, they're so strict.
Melinda photographed everything and rolled my sleeves up and looked at the burns running up both arms. "How did these happen?" "The lights get really hot during filming." She went straight to my parents and pulled out her phone. "Your daughter can't read. She can't write her name. She's covered in burns and she sleeps on concrete. I am removing her from your care right now." My dad gripped the doorframe. "This kid is our property and we own everything she makes."
Now look at that evil face. That's how we can tell they're strict.
Melinda held the phone closer to his face. 2 officers showed up 20 minutes later, and my aunt was right behind them. She knelt down in front of me and wrapped both arms around my shoulders. "You never have to smile for a camera again. Keep smiling or you're sleeping outside tonight," my mom said while someone from when the doctors said they could finally separate me and my conjoined. "Keep smiling or you're sleeping outside tonight."
Now look at that evil face. Oh. I'll go to the next vid.
When the doctors said they could finally separate me and my conjoined twin, only one of us was happy.
Whoa,
For 10
whoa. That's like a Cerberus in Silverina. Replay it.
When the doctors said they could finally separate me and my conjoined twin.
Look at that. Look like a Cerberus. How do they use the toilet and poop? One of them wants to poop on one of them. They have the same butt. But
Only one of us was happy. For 10 years, me and Vanessa shared one body, but we made it work. When we brushed our teeth in front of the mirror, I would brush and she would floss. When we painted our nails, I'd do the hands and she'd do the feet. But when our parents finally saved enough money to have us separated, I thought we'd both be celebrating. But that night, Vanessa turned to me. "I don't want us to go through with this. I can't live without you." I stroked my own hand to comfort her because I knew she could feel it. "It's okay. The surgery will go fine." She didn't say anything, and I shrugged because I thought she'd come to her senses. And the next morning, while the doctors injected anesthesia into our arms and we counted back from 10, my heart was beating with adrenaline because I couldn't wait to have a life that was finally mine. But when we both woke up 8 hours later, I felt her moving and I screamed in horror. The surgeon stood at the end of the bed. "Don't worry, we didn't go through with it. Your sister told us you'd both changed your minds. She said neither of you wanted to be apart." I was so horrified the room started spinning. She'd sabotaged my one chance at freedom. I never said that. I wanted this more than anything. Vanessa was already crying. "I told you I can't live without you." I started hyperventilating because I knew my sister was going to do everything she could to keep us stuck together forever. My eyes darted around the room, desperately looking.
she wants to get stuck with her sister, but she does not want to.
for a
Makes
solution,
sense.
and that's when I spotted a bag of peanuts someone had left on the edge of the bed. While Vanessa cried and no one was looking, I instantly grabbed a handful and immediately shoved it into my mouth. The allergic reaction started immediately, and I breathed a sigh of relief because I knew now they would be forced to do the surgery. I lied, "My heart is failing. It hurts. I think it's cardiac arrest." Me and Vanessa's throats both started closing. I could feel her squeezing her own hand so hard it drew blood to punish me, but I didn't care anymore. The monitors went off all at once. "We need to go through with this. They could die." This time, before Vanessa could say anything, they started injecting
She eat peanuts so they can be so they can die. They only want to get out. What are you talking about?
the anesthesia again. I woke up 8 hours later to 1 heartbeat on the monitor instead of 2. My one hand covered my mouth as I gasped because for the first time I was free. But I was immediately confused because Vanessa wasn't there. "We were able to save both of you, but Vanessa woke up from the surgery first. And when she saw she was separated from you, she plugged out the health monitor on herself. We found out too late. I'm sorry. She always said she couldn't live without me. Turns out she was right." When the doctors said they could finally separate
Oh, she died. Mm. She
me and my
died and so her sister did the wrong thing. Instant chat.
I was about to perform my ballet dance in front of the entire school when I saw a bucket of slime in the top corner of the curtain railing. It was positioned right over the area
Would someone trying to prank her?
where my dance ended, and I clenched my fists because I knew someone was trying to sabotage me. But when the curtain was up and I locked eyes with my college scout who'd decide whether or not I'd get my dance school scholarship, I knew I had to dance. I hit my first turn, and the momentum carried me right at the bucket, so I cut it short and spun off the other way, landing a foot from the rim of the bucket in a plie, and my heart was pumping with adrenaline. I could see my bully Veronica in the front row, giggling with all the mean girls. She mouthed the words,
He's the bully?
"Careful, ballerina." She was trying to get me to flinch and fall under the slime bucket, so I tensed my body and kept dancing. I did a quadruple turn, gracefully landing with my hands raised above my head. Most of the auditorium clapped, and my college scout nodded while writing in his clipboard, but I noticed one of the mean girls was recording me, and when our eyes met, she mouthed, "You won't last long, ballerina. Everyone's about to watch you eat it." My knees started shaking because it was time for my grand finale,
She
the final
thinks
jump
that
right
she's
under
gonna
the
eat the
slime bucket.
slime?
I heard a whistle from behind the stage and saw Veronica was now standing where no one could see her, and her hand was on the rope of the bucket, getting ready to dump the entire
She's just like teleported. No one saw her.
thing on top of me. "You're not getting out of this, ballerina," she said, her phone still pointed right at me. I knew I only had a few seconds to react and make the right decision, so I threw myself into the grand jeté and came flying right at her face. She was so startled that she fell back, and the bucket went with her, and 3 liters of cold slime poured down over her own head. All of her fake friends turned their cameras towards
Cut sabotage it back, nah. That's some
towards her,
revenge.
still live streaming and laughing. Veronica stood frozen, green sludge sliding off her chin onto her screen. "Delete it," she screamed, clawing at her eyes. My scout caught my eye through the chaos and nodded once. "I've seen enough," he called up to the stage. "Welcome to Juilliard." I was about to perform my ballet dance in front of the entire school.
I handed a flight attendant a napkin that said, "The man next to me is not my father. Please help." She smiled and asked me if I wanted any peanuts. Then she walked away. My heart sank, and I felt Arthur's hand squeezing my thigh under the tray table. "You're not thinking about doing something stupid, are you?" I shook my head, and he smiled and patted me like a dog, saying, "Good girl." But I looked at the flight attendant and wondered if she was going to help me because in 3 hours we would land, and then I would vanish like the others Arthur told me about. But after a few minutes, the flight attendant came back pushing the drink cart. "Ma'am, we have a medical situation and need to move a few passengers so the crew can access the emergency equipment." Arthur's hand clamped down on my wrist. "She's not moving." The flight attendant kept her eyes on me and said, "Sir, I need to hear from her directly." But Arthur told her, "She
Oh, she knows fam. She's just lying so she can get out. Makes sense.
She's my daughter, and she's not right in the head. You move her and she'll have an episode." And so she bent down to fix something under my seat, and I felt her breath on my ear. "When I squeeze your hand, you run." And then she stood up and smiled at Arthur. "Let me check with my boss." But she reached toward me like she was handing me a pack of peanuts. Then her fingers closed around mine and squeezed hard. I ripped my arm free from Arthur and threw myself into the aisle, but he lunged after me and grabbed my arm. "You stupid girl, you're not going anywhere." And then the flight attendant slammed into him and yelled, "Get your hands off her." But Arthur shoved her into a drink cart and she hit the floor. But she yanked his
Oh my god, that guy is strong.
leg, which sent him crashing into a row of seats. That's when 2 men grabbed him. "Federal air marshals, don't move," Arthur thrashed. "That's my daughter. She's insane and off her medication. Call the police." "We are the police. TSA flagged your name. You're wanted in 3
It's Somebody should call the police and get the police.
States. Arthur looked at me desperately, saying, "Tell them you wanted this." But I crouched down so my face was inches from his. "I want you to rot." I handed a flight attendant a napkin that said, "The man next to me is not."
Uh, let's watch.
My daughter came home holding candy, and I instantly asked, "Where'd you get that?" She just smiled. "An old man was at the bus stop today. He gave it to us." Alarm bells started going off in my head. The next morning, I walked with her to the bus station. The man was standing there holding a bowl of candy. He just started handing them out, and I knew something had to be wrong. I grabbed my daughter's arm. "Wait, don't eat that." I took it from her and checked it for anything bad. The man just smiled at me, but when Sadie's mom saw him, she panicked. "What are you giving my daughter? Stay away from her, you creep." He looked upset and just walked away without looking back. I was confused.
Okay, guys, it's
Sadie's
just my
mom
mom
lost
talking
it.
to
She
me.
started calling him a stalker and called the police. He tried to tell her he wanted to keep them safe, but she knew something had to be wrong. The police came and put him in handcuffs, but he kept saying he was keeping them safe. I thought it was weird, but when I was watching the news that night, I couldn't believe it. Apparently he had a heart attack later that day, but they were saying he was a
Passed
hero.
away.
Apparently his daughter was waiting for the bus playing too close to the road and got hit by a car. So the old man would go to bus stops and hand out her favorite candy to keep other kids away from the road. All he wanted to do was make sure none of us had to go through the same pain he did. My daughter came home holding candy, and I instantly asked, "Where'd you get that?" She just smiled.
Okay. If you guys enjoy, see you in the next. Bye.